This
All right.
conference will now be recorded.
So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see some whiteboard.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I had opened a whiteboard. All right then. So, do you have any before I start? So, do you have any knowledge on what exactly this SAP is? Any some in layman language terms also? Can you explain me?
As far as what I recollect or I understand is SAP is a kind of maybe an ERP where it
Yes.
has different modules for different departments. And
Right,
I
right.
think it has been done or it has been developed in a way where all the modules, they can be on the same platform, so they can talk to each other, could be integrated
Right.
easily as well.
Yes,
I don't know if it
exactly.
is right or wrong.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I also wanted to convey to you. But more or less, you are on the right track, right?
Yeah.
So, as you told just now, so SAP is basically an ERP tool. Okay,
Hmm.
SAP
Hmm.
is basically an ERP tool.
Yeah.
Right? What SAP stands for? Just for general information, it stands for System Application and Products
Hmm.
in Data Processing. Please excuse me about my handwriting. Okay,
No, no,
and
it's
if
perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine.
yeah, so I find this way of presenting the things to any participant. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
SAP
fine.
stands for yeah.
Yeah.
SAP stands for System Application Products in Data Processing. And what is SAP?
Hmm.
SAP ERP tool. Now,
Hmm.
coming to the next point, why SAP is pretty much success in the market, right?
Hmm.
There are so many ERP tools, right? What are
Yeah.
present in the market, but why most of the industries are showing their interest to make SAP as their primary ERP tool, even though they are using some other ERP tools also, but
Yeah.
primarily they are using SAP.
Right.
Why? The reason is, as you mentioned just few minutes back, SAP is an integrated ERP tool, what we can say. SAP
Hmm.
is an integrated ERP tool which brings all the departments of an organization on one page,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
What is the meaning of that integrated ERP tool? Why it is called as an integrated ERP tool? What is the value addition it is giving to the business? For example, if you are working for an organization,
Hmm.
in that organization you will be seeing so many departments, right?
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
can be your purchasing department, second one can be your finance department,
Hmm.
third one can be your stores department.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
I'm listing down some of the major departments. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it can be your sales department. Yeah. Then
Hmm.
you have production planning department,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And you have let's say some quality department, quality management department, right?
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are the various departments what you will come across if you are working in an organization. Now
Yeah.
each and every department will carry or will perform some kind of actions on their day-to-day basis, right, for smooth functioning of the business. Now what
Yeah.
is the pain point of the business? What is the pain point of business? So before explaining you about the pain point of business, we have to know how each and every department in an organization is will work closely, or when the activity of any department will going to start.
Right.
So if we talk about talk in a collaborative way, we can say this entire functioning is called as a supply chain process. Okay, this
Yeah.
functioning of entire departments make a supply chain process, right? Now what is the
Right.
triggering point of supply chain process? That we have to understand. Can you tell me how the supply chain process actually starts?
Uh, um,
Okay, think from this angle. Think
Yeah.
from this angle. Yeah, if you are if you had opened your own business, okay,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
business is into the manufacturing of some grocery items, let's say edible oil. Okay,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to start a business, so you constructed one factory, and now you want to start the production of edible oil. Now, how you are going to start the production of the edible oil? What will be the input parameters based on which you will consider, and you will plan your production capacities, your purchasing, and all those things? What is the triggering point of based on which you will initiate all your rest of the activities?
I'll see what my demands is, and then
Yes,
we'll try to see what I
exactly.
can produce based on our whatever the raw
Exactly.
material are.
Exactly. That word what you had told me just now, that
Yeah.
is called as demand.
Right.
Whenever there is a demand, only then the supply chain process activity will start. If there is no demand, your
Yeah.
supply chain process will not work
Yeah.
at all. The best example was the previous year COVID lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever the demand will come, who will give the demand? The demand will come from the customer, and the customer will give the demand to which department of an organization? They will give their demand to the sales department.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what sales and sales department will do with that data? They should pass on to the rest of the next department, right? So,
Yes.
for example, the customer is giving you the demand of, let's say, you got a demand of some 10,000 cans of oil.
Mm-hmm.
This is the demand what you got. Now, what you
Right.
will do? What sales people will do? First of all, they want some data integration to happen, or they want in their ERP system
Mm-hmm.
to see what is the current stock which is available. First of all, they will see whether 10,000 cans of oil is presently available in their inventory or not.
Right.
So, whom they will approach? They will approach to the stores department.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every
Yeah.
time they cannot approach stores department, right? So they want some data integration to happen between the stores department and the sales department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then only some seamless business transactions will happen, right? Now let's
Yes.
assume out of 10,000 cans of oil, what is the requirement? In the stores, you have only 5,000 cans of oil, which can be replenished to the customer demand.
Mm-hmm.
So will you going to stop there only? No, 5,000 cans of oil will not fulfill the customer demand, right? You want to replenish more, right?
Yeah.
So what you will
Yeah.
do, whatever quantity you are having the shortage, you
Mm-hmm.
will communicate that shortage to whom? To
Production.
the production department.
Mm-hmm.
So here also there will be one data integration should happen. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
seamless business transaction. Now,
Mm-hmm.
production department got a requirement from the sales department that please produce 5,000 cans of oil by so and so date, because we have to meet the customer demand.
Mm-hmm.
That information has been passed to the production department. Now, what production department will do? They will start their further activities, means of manufacturing activities. Now, to manufacture something, you will require certain input materials, right? For example,
Yeah.
you may require some groundnuts, you may require some mustard seeds. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
again, production department will approach the stores department to check what is the inventory of raw materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if there is a sufficient stock, no issues, they will start the production. But if there is a shortage, what they will do? But if there is a shortage, what they will do? They will communicate that shortage. They will communicate that shortage to whom? To
Purchase.
purchasing department.
Yeah.
Now, purchasing department will identify the vendor. in the market, and they will place the order. The vendor will deliver the goods. Again, that goods will be delivered by the vendor, and the stores will receive. Now here, whatever raw material you had received, that needs to be inspected. Means some of the materials are something like you have to carry out quality inspection. Then so quality inspection will come into picture before giving that material to stores. Now once this material is available, production guys are producing the things. Now the purchasing department has placed the order to the vendor. Now this vendor will not keep quiet, right? You have to clear the payment to vendor, right? Now who will clear the payment? Whose responsibility is to clear the payment? It's the finance department. Now on what parameters finance department will clear the payment? They will not know what you had purchased. The purchasing department has to tell them, okay boss, we had purchased these things, okay, vendor has provided these goods or services at a price, at this price, so you have to clear this much price to the vendor. Now further clearing will go on to the vendor. So what is the overall, if we want to summarize, this is how a supply chain process works. Now for supply chain process to work on efficient way, a proper and seamless data integration should be happening among the respective departments. That is the major pain point of any business. If there is no seamless data integration will happen, the business process will not work in an efficient way.
Right.
So this functionality, as you mentioned a few moments back, that it integrates all the departments. So this is the meaning of integration, or this is the reason why SAP is called as an integrated ERP tool, because it performs the seamless data integration among the respective departments.
Right.
So this is a kind of this entire thing is a kind of closed network, right? Now coming to the point, what we are here for today, after discussing this entire supply chain process, now we have to discuss what exactly this SAP materials management deals with. Because when we start learning SAP, okay, when we start learning SAP, we learn basically modules of SAP. Okay, SAP modules. The SAP modules in SAP is divided into two parts. One is functional module, and second one is technical module. Okay, functional module, what it deals with, functional module consists, it takes care of each and every business process like sales, production, finance, materials management, quality management, warehousing, and all those things.
Right.
Whatever business process is there, that will be taken care by the functional module. And what technical module takes care of? This technical module takes care of programming, backend programming. Okay.
Right.
It takes it in this technical module only some admin related activities also gets involved. Okay, then security related issues. Okay, these are the various stuffs which is comprised in a technical module. Okay, so these are the so if anyone asks you, you can say these are divided into two things: functional module and technical module, right? Now in this, out of the available functional modules, we are here, or our agenda is to know about SAP materials management, right? So let's jump into that SAP materials management. This SAP materials management is also called as purchase to pay solution.
Right.
And in S4 HANA, there is one alternative name which is called as sourcing and procurement.
Mhm.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
an alternative name. So if anyone asks you, don't get confused among these three things. Both
Yeah.
are all the three things are same things, right?
Yeah.
Now, what exactly this SAP materials management deals with? So SAP materials management deals with three things, or we can say there are three pillars of SAP materials management. What are those three pillars? One is purchasing. Second one is inventory management. And third one is logistics, invoice verification.
Mhm.
These are the three things, or these are the three pillars based on which this SAP materials management is made up of.
Right.
Without anyone, SAP materials management is not complete, right? Now,
Yeah.
let's understand. I will not explain you in the SAP terminology, but I want to tell you some basic business overview, okay? Or we
Yeah.
will have a high level overview, because that understanding that thing is very much important before digging into the SAP point of view, right? So first
Right.
one is purchasing. Now, what is purchasing and what it deals with? So what is the meaning of purchasing? We all know, we all heard about this thing, right? What
Yeah.
purchasing? To buy something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we buy, or what are the things we buy in purchasing, or what any organization will buy under purchasing? They buy two things, only two things. What are those two things? One is goods and
Mhm.
services.
Mhm.
In goods, you can classify goods based on various categories, like raw material, semi-finished, finished material, packaging materials, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like those, you can categorize various things in
Mhm.
goods. Similarly, in services, you have various categories of services, like general
Mhm.
services, maintenance services, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you have different things. So whatever thing you are procuring, if you cannot touch physically, that
Mhm.
is considered as a service. Whatever
Service.
thing you are procuring and you can physically touch that thing, that is known as goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in purchasing, we basically focus on purchasing of goods and services. Now,
Right.
just a general question I am asking, not from the SAP point of view, just
Yeah.
in general. If you want to carry out, if you want to do purchasing, what you should know?
Quantity, pricing,
Uh-huh.
maybe how quickly you can get the goods from a supplier, their lead
Mhm.
time or something.
Right, right.
So you can plan your goods in your chain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All
The
right.
quality what you are getting.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, yeah, most of the points, whatever you told me, so those were absolutely correct. So what I will do, I will make those things in, or I will present those things in a bit more precise way.
Okay.
So if you just a minute.
Mhm.
So if you are doing the purchasing activities for your home, or for if you are owner of the business, and if you are if you want to do the purchasing activities for your business, anything it can be. First
Yeah.
and for the foremost thing what you will do is the purchasing planning.
Yeah.
And then you will after doing purchasing planning, the follow-on action will be purchasing execution. Right now,
Yeah.
this has to be carried out first and foremost, then only this has to be carried out. Now what we carry out under purchasing planning? In purchasing planning, we consider 4 things. Yeah. What are the 4 things we will consider? What to buy. Second thing is how much to buy.
Yeah.
Third one is when to buy. And fourth one is from where to buy.
Right.
These are the 4 things what we usually carry out in purchasing planning. What to buy means we will consider here what goods and services we want to buy.
Yeah.
How much to buy means we should quantify the things, because purchasing is very crucial thing for any business. They should neither procure too much high, they should neither procure too much low. Optimum quantity should be purchased.
Yeah.
Right? Because we all know purchasing generates expense. We have to minimize our expense.
Yeah.
Then when to buy. When to buy means whatever you for whatever requirement you whether you have the requirement of goods and or services in the desired quantity, that should be available at right place and at right time. So when to raise the requirement of material, that is also a very crucial thing for any business. The last one is from where to buy. Where to buy means from which vendor you should buy.
Yeah.
Because to supply one material or one service, there are so many vendors in the market available.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you have to decide from which vendor you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have one more functionality. Here we have the under where to buy, we have the functionality of vendor selection.
Yeah.
Then we have another functionality. If you want to discover some new vendors in the market, then you have the functionality of quotations. I hope you know about this in quotations. It means bidding, raising the quotations, right? So we have this functionality here.
Yeah. Yeah.
This will get covered under from where to buy.
Right.
Okay. So the process of determining these all 4 things comes under your purchasing planning.
Right.
Now, once these 4 things are determined, okay, once these 4 things are determined, what business will do? Now the purchasing department will come into picture. Okay, and they will, this purchasing execution is carried out by the purchasing department.
Right.
Now, what they will do here, they will carry out the purchasing. So basically, they will carry out for purchasing or buying. They basically carry out 2 types of buying. One is called as operational buying, and second one is called as strategic buying.
Right.
Operational buying is basically a one-time buying, okay, and strategic buying is a repetitive or long-term buying. For example, if you want to buy some if you are planning to get your house constructed, you want to construct a new house, right? So what you did, you hired a contractor. Okay, contractor gave you the estimate. Okay, this many bags of cement will be required, and I am going to build your house in the span of 1 year, right? So in this span of 1 year, you will be requiring some 600 bags of cement. Now, will you go and purchase all the 600 bags of cement in one shot?
No.
No, right? You will going to purchase in installments.
Installments. Yeah.
Yes. So you are doing that purchasing in a definite time period. For example, if you are starting your house construction on today's date and it will going to end on 28th of February 2022.
Yeah.
So in this time frame, you are going to purchase 600 bags of cement.
Yeah.
So what you are doing? You are doing some strategic procurement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is called as some strategic procurement, means repetitive, that is in repetitive in nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that comes under your purchasing execution, under buying part.
Yeah.
So here we have two types of buying: operational buying and strategic buying. Here we place an some documents called as purchase order.
Yeah.
Here we place some document like contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once these two things are placed, so merely placing the order or merely creating the contract will fulfill the business requirement? No, this has to be communicated. These two things has to be communicated by the to the vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, if you are procuring something in the Flipkart, what you are actually doing? You are doing operational buying. Means some operational buying you are doing.
Yeah.
And in general, actually, when you are placing your order, what in the backend system is creating is a purchase order.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
this all things happens in purchasing execution.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this was about purchasing. So far clear, Rajiv?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Now we will discuss about the next pillar of SAP Materials Management, which is called as inventory management.
Yeah.
What does this inventory management takes care of? This takes care of all stock movements, all kinds of stock management.
Yeah.
Third thing is inventory planning.
Yeah.
And fourth one is physical inventory. Right? These are the four aspects what it basically covers.
Right.
So whenever the stock is moving, whenever there is a movement of stock, that will be taken care by inventory management. So how many kinds of stock movement can be there? Stock movement can be of three types. One is inward goods movement.
Yeah.
Second, the outward movement of stock, and third one will be internal movement of stock within your plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whatever kind of stock movement is there, all those things are taken care by inventory management. Now the next thing is, it takes care of all kinds of stock management, means how the stock will going to be managed, that will be taken care by inventory management.
Right.
And obviously there are some integration factors which will come into picture, like quality management department will come into picture. So basically there are three types of stocks what you are going to see in under inventory management in SAP Materials Management. One is free to use. Second one is stock in, quality inspection, and
Yeah.
fourth one is blocked stock.
Yeah.
So whenever you are receiving the material, or whenever there is other than receipt of material for goods movement, so system will see from which stock you have to move, or from which stock you should put it into, right? For example, if you go to vegetable market, right, we also apply the stock management in our household activities also. For example, if you are going to vegetable market, so nowadays let's assume the tomatoes are very cheap in price. So
Mhm.
you went to the vegetable vendor and you asked him, okay, give me 10 kg of tomatoes. So
Mhm.
actually what is happening there is not allowing you to pick the correct one, right?
Yeah.
So he is
Yeah.
picking randomly and he is weighing and it is giving to you. Now you don't know
Yeah.
which how many of the tomatoes are good or free to use, means they are fine to use. How many are having certain defects, you don't know. So when you will
Yeah.
bring that stock to your home, what you will do? First of all, you will do the quality inspection of that vegetables, right? So
Yeah.
in SAP system, the same thing happens if you are procuring any some materials which should be, or whose quality inspection should be done. So first of all, system will automatically put into the stock in quality inspection, okay, by
Yeah.
integrating to the rest of the functional modules.
Yeah.
Then after the quality inspection department performs those tasks, then based on whether that material whatever you had received, if it is fit for use, then it can be moved from here to here. If it is
Yeah.
not fit for use, then it can be moved from here to here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is how the stock will going to be managed using inventory management.
Right.
Now the third thing is inventory planning. What
Mhm.
is the meaning of inventory planning? For example, there is one storage facility what is available for your some of the material. Let's say you had stored this material X in this
Yeah.
container. Now if you don't plan how to use this stock of material which is present here, right,
Yeah.
you will frequently face the stock out situation, or for example you want to use some portion of this stock. Let's say you want to use this portion of the stock, but you
Yeah.
haven't planned when I want to use this thing. So what
Yeah.
will happen? Somebody else will come and somebody else will consume that thing.
Mhm.
Best example of inventory planning we had also applied in our day-to-day activities. For example, I will give you very good example for that. What I believe,
Mhm.
uh, we frequently travel via train, right, in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
So if you want to travel from, let's say, from one place to another place, what you do? We go to IRCTC and we book the reservation.
Yeah.
We do the reservation. What we are actually doing there? We are doing inventory planning there. Assume one seat of a train is equal to one inventory or one stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are in IRCTC portal, if you want to go from Mumbai to Delhi,
Yeah.
so you book it, you went there, and there it is so showing some available seats.
Yeah.
Let's say it is showing as 66 seats. What is this 66 seats? This is an inventory, and being as a user of this inventory, you are planning how this 66 will be used. So out of 66 seats, let's assume you had reserved 4 seats. Means what you did? You planned the inventory how it is going to be utilized for your business objective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
will happen if you had reserved these 4 seats? Nobody else other than you can
Yeah.
utilize these 4 receipts on that particular date.
Yes.
The same thing happens in case of materials also under inventory management. So we have a concept called as reservation here in inventory management.
Right.
That is basically a planning activity.
Right.
Right. Now
Yeah.
the next thing is physical inventory. Physical inventory is also called as stock auditing. What do we do in stock audit? For example, there is material X.
Mhm.
You have your ERP system. Let's say the ERP system is SAP.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in ERP system, for this material, you are seeing a stock figure of, for example, 200 pieces in ERP system.
Yeah.
But physically or actual stock, what is present, that is 210 pieces.
Right.
So there is a inconsistency in these two stock figures, right?
Yeah.
So the stock figure what we see in ERP, that is called as book inventory,
Right.
and this is called as actual inventory or actual
Right.
stock. So what will happen if there is an inconsistency in the stock figure in your ERP system and the actual stock? What will going to happen? Any idea?
Well, definitely it will have an impact on the value, of the
Yes.
stock as well.
Yes, yes, yes. That is one of the important thing what you had told. First of all, the value of your inventory will not be correct.
Yeah.
What you will see in ERP. Another thing is your inventory planning will not going to be proper.
Yeah.
So these are the things what we can cover. So and based on physical inventory, we can
Mhm.
remove these inconsistencies,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
This is what is being offered under your inventory management.
Right.
Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the third thing or the third component of SAP MM is logistics invoice verification. What is this logistics invoice verification component deals with? Can you tell me what is the meaning of invoice?
Invoice is just maybe when we are selling to someone, so we can give him a proof of selling, so he's liable for that payment.
Yes, yes. So invoice in layman terms, we call it as a bill, right?
Yeah.
So we call it as a bill. Invoice is actually a document, right? If
Yeah.
you want to say in some definition form, invoice is basically a document which
Yeah.
is issued by the vendor to a buyer.
Right.
For what? For settlement of goods and services, whatever he has purchased from the vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we understood about invoice. Now,
Yeah.
what is the meaning of verification? Verification. What is the meaning of verification? Verification means to determine the correctness of anything.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
by the term invoice verification, what do we mean? Invoice is presented by whom? Invoice is presented by the vendor.
Yeah.
So we are not going to blindly pay the amount whatever has been mentioned in the
Yeah.
invoice given by the vendor. So for
Yeah.
that we want, or the business wants, some mechanism which will verify whether the correctness of vendor's invoice. So
Yeah.
that is taken care by the third component of SAP MM, which is called as logistics invoice verification.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, some people will have some misunderstanding. Invoice verification, with invoice verification, that they tell that okay, this functionality is used to clear the payment of the vendor, but actually this functionality doesn't take care of clearing the payment to vendor. That is taken care further by finance team. This
Finance, right.
functionality is only for verification of vendor's invoice.
Right.
So we know why we want to do the verification of vendor invoice. For example, if you go to some departmental store to buy the grocery items, in the cash counter they generate one big bill. Now what we
Right.
do after doing everything, we verify the particulars whatever has been mentioned in that bill.
Mhm.
If there is any kind of discrepancies, we will raise the query
Yeah.
to the floor manager.
Yeah.
So there we are doing visual verification, but doing the visual verification is practically not possible for business because there will be dealing with so many invoices on day-to-day basis. So we have some mechanism here.
Right.
What is the mechanism? How it will do the invoice verification? For example, vendor gave you a hard copy or soft copy of invoice.
Yeah.
How you are going to verify this invoice? Based on one, the order whatever we had placed to vendor.
Yeah.
Second thing is, when we are receiving the goods, we will generate some acknowledgement document that is called as goods receipt.
Yeah.
And the third thing is invoice verification document. This document we create with reference to this document.
All right.
If we are making use of these three things to verify the vendor invoice, this is called as three-way match.
Mhm.
If we are making use of this and this only, this is called as two-way match.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So based on this mechanism, the correctness will be determined of this invoice.
Right.
If there is any kind of discrepancies what business is finding, they will raise query to the business. They will ask the vendor to correct the invoice or whatever the communication they are having in the backend.
Right.
Right. So this was a high-level overview of logistics invoice verification.
Yeah.
But I hope you understand the basic concept of what it actually deals with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was about the three pillars of SAP materials management, right?
Mhm.
What we should know, because until and unless we know these things, we cannot move ahead in the course curriculum. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So Rajiv, so this is what I wanted to present today. So
Okay.
you have any queries, you can ask me. Okay, I will try to answer those queries. Yeah.
Mm. No, nothing. Sorry, nothing related to the thing which you mentioned. It was just one curiosity, like, we in databases, we know SAP, we know SQL, other databases as well. But what, how does this SAP stores data in the backend?
So for that, we have certain database tables which SAP has provided, right?
So it is their own built system, is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
So whatever transaction you will do, for each and every transaction, SAP has provided certain database tables. Okay.
All right.
So
Okay.
we need not have to worry about how the system will going to store the data in the backend, being a functional consultant, right?
Right. Right.
Whatever transaction you will do, it will
Yeah.
automatically get stored to the linked database table for that object.
All right. Okay. Okay.
If you are placing some order, for that order, you have already linked a database table.
All right.
So
Okay.
if you click on save,
Yeah.
system will store all the data, whatever you had used in the transaction, into
Yeah.
that table.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So any further queries?
No
All right,
queries.
Rajiv. So yeah, so shall we conclude this session for today?
Yes, please.
All right, Rajiv. Yeah. So
Okay,
it was
thank you.
a pleasure talking. So I hope the things got pretty much clear to you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to give you a high
No,
level.
it was really good. It was really good.
Uh-huh. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Fine. Then no issues. Yeah. All right, Rajiv. So thanks for joining and taking your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for your time as well.
yeah. Thank you and
Okay.
have a nice day ahead and stay safe. Bye bye.
Yes. Same to you. Thank you. Bye.